Kinga Sabul here from Alman Al Beacon. Today I'm going to take up a very controversial topic. Who supports you when you want to open your business in the UAE? Well, to be honest, very few people. Why is that? Now in the UAE, remember, there is 0% income tax, and in some instances, you don't even pay corporate tax, or you are not going to pay corporate tax. It has its special criteria. Please search for the other video I have done on the subject to learn more. There is no reporting requirements for most of the companies, and the administrative burdens are very little on the companies. So having said that, definitely your idea of opening a company in the UAE will not be supported by your accountant, by your tax advisor, by your lawyer, even by your relatives in some cases, as they don't want you to leave and they don't want to lose you as a client as a main reason. I'm a finance graduate, finance and law graduate, so I'm definitely not against accounting, don't get me wrong. It is common sense to run some sort of an accounting. But the fact that you are paying your accountant and he or she is trying to stop you when you are trying to make a move which will actually generate you more revenue, more peace of mind, and more expansion in your life is just horrendous, and it is really outrageous. So I do stand against that. Let me tell you a story that happened to one of my clients. Let's call him Dave. Dave lived in Narnia, and this country, Narnia, is located in Europe. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Narnia has very high tax rates. So Dave was running a very successful business, and his business was within the top 5 of his industry in his country. And Dave had the idea that he had enough of paying taxes. He's built his company, it's his baby, and Narnia's government was taking most of his earnings. So Dave had more than enough of that, and he found us. We had a very nice meeting with Dave. We explained everything, how Dubai and UAE would support this sort of business, and running that business in the UAE would leave so much more money in his pocket legally without violating any laws. So obviously Dave was super excited. So next day he had a talk with his tax advisor and accountant. They were just out of this world crazy upset with the idea, even just the mentioning of the idea of relocating the business to the UAE. So obviously Dave got a bit confused. He came back to me and he said that, look, my accountant is saying that there is no way I can leave Narnia. I have to run my business. I have to continue running my business in Narnia without ever being able to leave. And even my tax advisor is saying that I'm committing a crime if I'm relocating, which is not the case, by the way. So I offered Dave that let me talk to the accountant and the tax advisor. Let me use my expertise and my knowledge of the subject to come to a normal agreement with them and to let them see how it is benefiting Dave and how it is benefiting Dave's future. So Dave organized a meeting with the accountant and the tax advisor, and we started talking. I stayed calm. I was saying the same things. I showed them evidence that there is no tax in Dubai, that there are no reporting obligations, and so on and so on. Around the middle of the meeting, the accountant got so pissed that he stood up and left the meeting without even saying bye. So he got so pissed that he could no longer confront the situation and he had to leave, which was actually an eye-opener for Dave. And he started thinking that if this is how my accountant reacts to facts and plain data about how much money I can save, then probably there is something wrong with the advice I'm getting from that person. So finally, they've decided to start his company here with us. So obviously, the initial first month was a little bit of a roller coaster because he had to find a place to live. He had to reorganize his social media platforms. Anyways, it was a bit of a doing when it came to relocating the entire business, but he made it. And in the second month, his earnings skyrocketed by 40%. Imagine that. Earning suddenly, just by such a move, earning 40% more. And obviously, the income of the accountant went from here to zero because he lost a client. Now, this is how you have to see. So the moment you mention opening and relocating your business to the UAE, you are going to have the number one opposition from your accountant. Your accountant, just think logically, your accountant is a person who takes money from you, but in real life, he works for the government because he is a tax collector. He makes sure that you file your taxes and you pay your taxes to the government. He's not on your side. You just simply pay for the accountant. So, I mean, again, I'm not against accounting, and financial statements is really common sense for any business. But the question is whether you need to follow the accounting for the purpose of filing your taxes, or you need to follow accounting for your own benefit. I much rather do an accounting for myself to see where I'm standing in accomplishing my goals, in reaching my financial targets, than having to follow tens of thousands of pages of law in what I can account for, how can I account for. I do believe that life is about choices and the power of choice. So you have to have the power of choice on how well you're going to spend your own earnings. And that's why UAE grants you the opportunity, grants you a brilliant opportunity in getting control over 100% of your income. So accountant is not one of the persons who would support you. Now let's see, tax advisor. Once again, I would say it's the same category. It will be against the idea. Again, the moment you close your company in your country and relocate your business to the UAE, he's lost a client. He has lost you as a client, so you will no longer pay. This is about money, guys. It's not anything else. It's about money. Once you close your company in your country, these people will earn less. So they will try to stop you from leaving because they don't want to jeopardize their earnings. I believe every one of you who's running a business is smart enough to see the benefits and the risks of opening a company in the UAE. And you can decide for yourself whether it is the balance weighs towards the benefits or the risks. And you can make an informed decision. If you have any questions, ask me. I'm happy to answer. Drop your comments below. I will answer personally. I will answer all the questions. Please subscribe to the channel. I will be sharing more and more information and to build up your knowledge to the level that you can really make an informed decision about the UAE and how to start your business in the UAE. Thank you very much for watching. This was Kinga Sabo from Al Manal Beacon.